Namaste children, welcome back to social science class. Children, in today's class let us learn about the rivers and lakes of South America. You can see here children the map of South America showing the rivers. So you have got it in your textbook page number 143. You can go through the textbook children while I am listening to the video. And let me tell you children here, Amazon is also called female warrior. You can see here the Amazon, how huge it has gone. You can see here children, Amazon goes entirely like this, very big. Okay, Amazon. And Parana comes over here, Paraguay, Parana, Paraguay, Uruguay, you can see Uruguay, and also we have got the Orinoco, a major river. The Orinoco flows like this, and also here in South America, these are the very important rivers children: the Amazon, Parana, Paraguay, Uruguay, and the Orinoco. And the Amazon, 6,450 kilometer river, it rises in the Andes, and and also it is the longest in South America. See, Andes comes over here, isn't it? So it rises from here and flows, and it is the largest river in the world. It is navigable to great extent along its course. The Orinoco River, the Orinoco is another important, you can see here, the Orinoco. It is another important river which is also, there are some rivers like the combined river systems of Parana, Paraguay, and Uruguay. This children, the combined river system of Parana, Paraguay, Uruguay, it is called as La Plata. It is called as La Plata. And Lake Titicaca, you can see Lake Titicaca here. Lake Titicaca, which is in Bolivia, is the highest lake in the world, and it is the largest navigable lake in South America. And also there are many other lakes like Lake Junin, Lake Saracocha of Peru, in Peru, Saracocha, and there is Lake Pupu in Bolivia. These are some other important rivers of South America, important lakes of South America. And children, about the climate of South America, let me tell you, South America has got a wide variety of climate, latitude, altitudes, and the proximity of the Pacific and the Atlantic Oceans. You can see both the sides, everywhere the water, and the proximity of the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. All these things contribute to the variation in the climate of the continent. You can see that the equator passes through the northern part of the continent, and the Tropic of Capricorn passes through the southern part. And the landmass within these two latitudes falls in the tropical zones, where between these two, the places whatever you can see, they fall in the tropical zone. The broader part in the north is under the influence of tropical climate. Here this broader part, it is under the influence of tropical climate. Hence, the climate here is hot and wet. And the Amazon basin experience hot and wet equatorial climate due to the presence of equator. And the region experiences convectional rainfall almost every day. Every day, almost they get the rain. Heavy rainfall favors dense forest in this region. The Amazon basin has thick forest, which is the home of flora and fauna, reptiles, birds and monkeys are common in this belt. And the Andes mountain ranges run almost the full length of the western margin of the continent. Yesterday you have seen all that. Onshore winds bring rain to the windward side, while the east of the Andes gets low rainfall. This is the shadow region, rain shadow region, and the temperate desert belt, Patagonia of South America. Ocean currents also influence the climate of the continent. Warm Brazilian currents move along the eastern coast and it causes rainfall, while the cold Peruvian current reduces the temperature in the western coast and keeps it dry. Therefore, the northern Chile and parts of southern Peru have hot desert Atacama type climate. Hot desert Atacama type. Here it is hot desert. Atacama desert is this is the Atacama desert. Here it is very hot, children. Western parts of the Andes and southernmost region of Chile, they receive rainfall throughout the year and it is maximum in winter. This region has oceanic climate, and north and central Chile, they have the coastal region, has warm summers and mild winters. And this region has got Mediterranean type of climate. Atacama desert, Calama, which is in Chile, is the driest area on the earth. Okay, it is the driest area on the earth. There is no rainfall for the last 200 years here in this place. So we can see here the natural vegetation, evergreen forest you are seeing here. The equatorial region of the Amazon basin has got dense tropical rainforest. It is the world's largest rainforest. Locally they are called as selvas. And evergreen trees are of hardwood with dense canopy of trees are found here. And this is the ebony tree, which is very valuable. Ebony and mahogany trees are found here. The rubber trees found here are used to make latex. And also, children, here there are some of the on either side of the equatorial forest grasslands are found. These are known as llanos in the Orinoco River basin and as campos in the Brazilian highlands. The southeastern coast of Brazil has tropical deciduous forest. And south of Grand Chaco, yesterday I have sent all those maps, children. Just look into all that. South of Grand Chaco region, that is Argentina and Uruguay, it is covered by temperate grasslands to a large extent known as pampas. The plateau of Patagonia has temperate desert having scrub vegetation on the western side of the Andes, and the central region has mixed type of forest. Temperate deciduous forests are found on the lower slopes and coniferous forests are found on the higher slopes. Central Chile has got the Mediterranean type of climate which has evergreen trees and shrubs. Children, in the next class, let me take up the wildlife, agriculture and animal husbandry. So up to this natural vegetation, read the lesson thoroughly, children, and copy down the given notes. Okay, children, thank you.